This little box contains my entire home lab. It runs Nextcloud and Immich on K3s, stores everything on ZFS, and idles around 30 watts. I built this box for two reasons. First, to learn skills I actually use at work, Linux, Kubernetes, storage and backups. Second, to replace parts of Google, such as Google Drive, Google Photos, with something I can actually control. And in this video, I'll show you the hardware, the stack, the power draw, and how the storage itself is set up. The case is a Fractal Node 804. Small, but actually holds a couple of 3.5-inch drives very well. CPU is a Ryzen 5 4650G. This has 6 cores, 12 threads, and integrated graphics. The board is the ASRock A520M. This is just an ITX board, nothing fancy. I have 32GB of DDR4 RAM. Bulk storage is 2 4TB HDDs, and I have a 250GB NVMe fed my boot drive. Originally, I booted off a 250GB SSD, then added a 2TB NVMe for VM storage, container storage. The power supply is the Corsair RM650e. Now here's how everything's actually put together. Everything runs on Proxmox. This acts as my tier 1 hypervisor. I primarily utilise Proxmox to spin up VMs. Proxmox is also used to manage my ZFS pool in 4 2TB HDDs. Any important data such as photos or important files are exposed over my cluster to a ZFS pool. The specific VMs which I am running are 3 related to my K3s cluster. Those are in a control VM and 2 worker VMs. I also have 2 VMs which are external to the K3s cluster. These are Podman VM, which uses a test bed, and a Nextcloud VM, which is like my personal VPN. Inside my K3s cluster, the services split into namespaces. Right now I have important ones called Nextcloud, and this is for Nextcloud storage, like the actual Nextcloud itself. And I have another one called Immich, and surprise surprise, this is for Immich. Storage for these apps come from NFS, and then are backed over to my ZFS pool. To actually demonstrate what this app actually does in real time, here's a simple Nginx demo on the cluster. I create a namespace, deploy Nginx, and expose it as a load balancer. Then MetalLB hands out an IP from my pool, and hitting that address from my LAN lands on this Nginx page. All of that runs on my K3s layer on top of Proxmox ZFS stack, which you saw before. Now with all the core services running, it idles around 30 watts from the wall. Pushing Nextcloud sync and some Immich processes brings up to about 37, while CPU temperatures sit around 60. Noise wise, fans are quiet enough that mouse clicks are actually louder than the server itself, as demonstrated by this clip. All important data lives on my 4 2TB drive, which are in a ZFS pool configuration called tank. These all hold information which I deem vital. I carve up these into 2 datasets, like for example I got tank K3x Nextcloud data. Those datasets are exposed over NFS and mounted back to the K3s cluster via NFS, so the pods just see the normal paths. ZFS also takes regular snapshots so I can roll back if I break something or delete the wrong file. Now overall this setup isn't perfect. I overlooked at the beginning how much I needed fast storage. My 250GB boot drive filled up very quickly when I started spinning up VMs and containers, hence the upgrade to the 2TB NVMe. But by having my own photo, cloud and services on this box of mine, it's become something very useful I use every day. It's been used for uni, to work, and just to have. It's just really nice to have. It's not something I could live without, I don't think. K3s, however, also adds an extra bit of complexity which I would not have in my first home lab if I was just. However, from my prior experience at work, I felt I could tackle the adventure, which is not for the faint of heart, I must admit. Next up, I need to finish setting up my Netbird VPN and my TuneOut VM.